A lot has been happening in the world of education. Proposed amendments as well as, you remember, the CS said that school fees now should be paid via e-citizen. A lot of debate about it. But let me start with the front page of the People Daily here. Oloo, Sossion, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Victor.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Last time we met, you were doing pretty fine. I hope that is the norm as we speak today.
I'm doing fine, and
Great.
I'm fine every day.
All right.
And I'm a fulfilled Kenyan.
Asante sana.
Yes.
On the front page of the People Daily, this is where we are. We're still waiting for Naftali Nyamongo to join us. Desperate Moi Kin beg for his cash. This is what you have. Moi Kin, yes, desperate Moi Kin beg for his cash. Late president's grandson seeks money to pay for surgery while his granddaughter can no longer attend her classes due to lack of school fees. This is also the front page of the People Daily. According to Jonathan's widow, the former president mentored so many people into leadership. Let us help this young boy who is currently admitted in the hospital to get medication. That is what's on the front page of the People Daily. And yes, I think I'll leave that at that. Raila compensation fire victims, compensate victims. He was yesterday at Embakasi, where the gas station blew up and a couple of people lost their lives. Azimio leader Raila Odinga, when he visited victims of Embakasi, said that the government should compensate the victims. But something close to all of us, and I think Oloo Sossion will chime on this. Teachers Union vows to boycott talks on TSC law. This is on the front page of the People Daily. Teachers Union vows to boycott talks on TSC law. Officials against changes that seek to enable employers set salaries without involving them. So Teachers Union vows to boycott talks today, which was slated to happen at the Kenya School of Government, that's KSG. Yeah, you see that. That is Colin Soyu, who is the NATSEC Gen and an official there. So, yeah, we have it here. Oloo Sossion, what do you make of this with your vast experience, matters, trade union and teachers and education in general?
Now, what TSC are seeking to do is to fight and undermine the recommendations of the Presidential Working Party, which has a whole chapter on teacher management.
Yes.
And it recommended that several functions that are TSC should be fully transferred to the ministry. And TSC remains only with the residual role of human resource,
yes,
which we all agree is a product of Kenyans. And we are aware TSC withdrew their personnel in the team that is working on the implementation of the Presidential Working Report. And they retreated to Naivasha to draft these types of amendments, ostensibly to make it an imperial institution over teachers, which is against the spirit of the Presidential Working Party.
Yes.
And by law, they cannot call for public participation forum. Public participation forum is conducted by Parliament after the first reading. So what TSC is doing is simply fighting the entire Presidential Working Party on education and reforms recommendation, and it is they are seeking to stifle and disorganize the education sector and fight the government policy. So essentially, TSC is fighting government. I agree with Kenya National Union of Teachers totally. They should not move anywhere near that illegal kangaroo squealer forum being conducted by the Teacher Service Commission.
Yeah.
So it should not see light of the day, and TSC should be informed. They are part of the government of the Republic of Kenya, and any amendments shall be tabled at the cabinet by the Cabinet Secretary Education for adoption before they are transmitted to Parliament for the first reading and processing. So TSC should focus and support the recommendations of the Presidential Working Party. If they have different recommendations outside what the Presidential Working Party reported, adopted, why didn't they persuade that body that was working to deal with everything in the education sector. Now, what if today NEC comes up with their own amendments, KICD comes up with their own amendments, universities with their own amendments, KLB with their own amendments, JOMOC, and all these sagas in the sector? We love confusion. Right now, it is common knowledge, and that the Presidential Working Party report has been adopted and the president has directed its implementation. So we cannot have institutions within the Ministry of Education originating programs, proposals, and legislative amendments that undermines the Presidential Working Party on education and reform. So I dare say at this minute, what TSC is doing is wrong. It is engaging in unnecessary war and deepening confusion in the Ministry of Education. In fact, if TSC is allowed to run away with amendments that it is proposing, then we should close down Jogo House. Because the minister and the ministry will lack authority to run the education sector.
Let's hold that. We'll come back. That is going to be forming our discussion today. This is also on the second page of the People Daily here. Teachers Union vows to boycott TAC meeting. NAT leaders against the proposed law changes that seek to enable employer to set salaries unilaterally. This is what it's there. NAT Sec General, that is Collins Oyu, said yesterday that he has written to TAC for a special engagement with the commission within 7 days as senior stakeholders to give their contribution on the draft. According to you, the union only received a letter from TSC on January 31st inviting them to the stakeholders engagement forum to be held at the KSG today. We will be taking a look at that later on. How about we take a look at what's happening on the front page of the Standard? Here we are. Where the buck stops. Where the buck stops. 6 Kenyans have lost their lives and hundreds others injured in an accident that could have been avoided. And continues that yesterday the government paraded suspects associated with the illegal gas business but left out senior government officials who are responsible for the regulations such as enterprises. That story continues there. And as you can see, a couple of them were arraigned yesterday before magistrate and yet to answer to charges. This is what we have. We have the 3 of them. We have got from left, we have got Mariam Kioko, David Ongare, Joseph Makau, and Derek Kimathi were presented to Milimani locals yesterday in relation to Embakasi gas explosion. That is what's happening. Of course, Sakaja was also there. That is the governor of Nairobi County. And he said that that is going to be handled, and already the county government are in possession of a list of unlicensed gas enterprises as well as those people who are not licensed, and therefore they are going to be shut down with immediate effect. That is what the governor said. As a city's planner, governor's order on LPG traders yesterday came to a little too late. That is what's here. All right. A quick one. Naftali Nyamongo is already in studio. We'll be doing a voice test, a screen test. See, screen test, voice test, sauti test. We're used to this. Screen test and voice test. All right. So where the buck stops, Mwalimu Sossion, at the end of the day, we'll have to blame someone at some point. But in your own assessment, what do you make of this? On the front page of the Standard, where the buck stops in as far as the issue of the gas explosion is concerned.
Yeah, yes, the gas explosion is a product of non-enforcement of regulations. Kenya has been rated as a country that has the best laws, it has the best regulations, but the enforcement is so poor.
Yeah.
The president has spoken of late about ineffective leadership, conflict of interest, and corruption. Tell us, at what stage did we have these gas filling outlet located in the wrong place?
Yeah.
Where was NEMA? Where the energy regulations procedures, why are they flouted? And Now we have a disaster. How many such do we have across the country?
Yeah.
Where we don't comply with the law and we don't provide effective leadership, even if we know what to do, because people vested in running those entities
Yes.
have got vested interest, they are conflicted, and they're promoting corruption. This is a product of corruption, ineptitude in leadership, and conflict of interest, which has to be dealt with. It's only indicating itself in this explosion. But how many such do we have even across all ministries in matters of governance? This is a country that thrives. Every sector is controlled by cartels. This group called cartels, who have captured the economy, they are everywhere. They're in every sector. You talk of education, they are there. You talk of health sector, they are there. You talk of construction sector, they are there. And that is why we are seeing court cases stopping programs that are going to extricate and liberate Kenya.
Very well.
Because that is going to push them out of business. So these are actually cartels, and they should pay the price for it and fully compensate Kenyans who have lost lives and property. It has reached a time that we must apply our laws as they are, without negotiating and without favor. And the law must be seen to be enforced and respected.
All right. It continues on page 2 that officials to blame over city gas explosion. That is what is here. Naftali, good morning.
Morning to you.
Good to see you.
Mr. Oloo.
Yeah, good to see you. We are still having our, taking a look at what we have on the front page of our local dailies, just to try to make use of them and do our own interpretation as far as what is happening across the country is concerned. So this is it, officials to blame. And here, the issue of the gas explosion, you can see it's a big business. Soup on gas refilling plant as Kenyans raise safety concerns. This is what we have here. And of course, nowadays it's not easy to identify a legitimate, gas cylinders which are good for human consumption or even for home use. Because when we have such kind of incidents or accidents happening across the country, then it means that something has to be done. But now the big question here is, officers raid illegal gas storage facilities in Kitale after tip-off by Nyumba Kumi. But is it an action that is now coming a little bit too late? Again, on the front page of the Standard, I don't know what you make of that. That's where we have it. Very good. On the front page of the Standard, where the buck stops. Naftali.
Yeah. Where the buck stops is at the officials. Because these officials have what we call responsibility. They have to account. They must be liable for their actions as far as the office which they are holding is concerned.
Yes.
So the people of Kenya are demanding answers from these public officers. We have disaster management team, and we have also national security team. They have to be aware what is happening, what is next happening to the people of Kenya. Because the people of Kenya have the right, protection of right to property. The people of Kenya have the right and the freedom to national security. And when you see the framers of our constitution, they anchored the principles of national security by saying that the national security is the protection against internal and external threats to Kenya's territorial integrity and sovereignty. It's the people, their rights, freedoms, property, peace, prosperity, and other national interests. So when you get a gas cylinder exploding arbitrarily, and we have disaster management team, then the people of Kenya must question themselves. What are the representation from the legislature, from the county governments, and from the national government? They have to account.
Okay. On the front page of the Daily Nation, here we have, taking on Raila. Again, that is on the front page of the Daily Nation, a bit different from what is happening. Taking on Raila, we have got factional wars within opposition coalition linked to 2027 polls. Yes, Daily Nation have it that has it here that the tough war as Raila Odinga steps up campaigns to popularize his ODM party, which are seen as laying the ground for his 6th presidential bid, fellow Azimio principals, that is Kalonzo Musyoka and Eugene Wamalwa, have recently put up a united front. The two were together in Kajiado last Sunday and have planned joint appearances this weekend in Kitui and in Meru. A year to 2022 general elections, gentlemen, One Kenya Alliance brought together politicians, including Kalonzo Musyoka, seeking to step out of Raila Odinga's shadow and a field of presidential candidate. The alliance collapsed. And now, a year after the polls, Kalonzo and Eugene Wamalwa are at it again. This is what we have. A day in Kenya without politics is a very long time. You agree with me, Mwalimu Sossion and Naftali? A day in Kenya without politics is it's a boring day. But what do you make of this? Let me start with you, Mwalimu Sossion.
You know, Kenya,
quickly. Yes.
The level of our democracy is one of the highest in the world.
Yes.
We've gained that free space. And Article 38 of the Constitution gives people political rights. And so if some citizens like Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka and team decide to do politics every day, that is okay. It is within their right. But let me tell you these facts. I'm one Kenyan who has been very keen on political events. And we supported Kibaki in 2002. I was in that arrangement. And we supported Raila Odinga very strongly in 2007 and mobilized his support. I was there. In 2013, we supported Uhuru Kenyatta. And we mobilized the necessary support at that time because of the circumstances. But let me tell you, in 2017, we supported NASA. And I even attended the manifesto launch of NASA as the Secretary General of NAT. I gave all my commitment, signed an agreement with them. But I can tell you, this is a disorganized outfit. They never walk through to their issues and to the point that they can convince Kenyans that if given power, they can execute. And that is the frustration some of us faced within that outfit. And so even losing elections in 2022 was no surprise because they've never been organized, they're not organized, they will not be organized. Because to run a country, you must prove that you are organized and connect with the people. They've never been organized. Talk of One Kenya Alliance. Who are in One Kenya Alliance? Saleh Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula. And we were all together in NASA in 2017.
Yes.
Even William Ruto was in ODM in 2007. And we traversed Rift Valley with William Ruto to mobilize support for Raila Odinga. But we are dealing with a group that is disorganized, that does not recognize the value of the members of the team. We don't know where they do their own things. And such an outfit cannot fit the leadership of a competitive and democratic Kenya with young Kenyans with strong aspirations.
Let's take a break.
So even if they do politics every day, to be elected in Kenya now and in future, you must demonstrate merit, competence, and ability to deliver.
You say that.
So and let me tell you.
Let's take a break.
Let me tell you, as a Kenyan, before you take a break, as a Kenyan, before you take a break, our democracy has reached a level that is going to reward the young generation so seriously. So to me, scientifically and empirically speaking, leadership in Kenya will shift to young and more vibrant Kenyans going into the future. It is not going to shift to the retired general. Yeah, these are the team that has been active all around. I think they should accept that they've been retired.
Let's take a break. Let's take a break. But you said that they are disorganized and they cannot lead a country.
True, yes, they're disorganized.
So why were you a part of a disorganized team in 2007? Why were you
I was optimistic that they would deliver, but I was shocked that they were more disorganized.
So you are also disorganized?
No, I'm not disorganized. I'm extremely.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back.